Okay, cool.
Good.
I think we're good to go.
All right. Um, yeah, like I've always had some serious body dysmorphia kind of things, and I had a big step today because I was in Bo Diddley Plaza and I took off my shirt in that grassy area
Mm-hmm.
and used it as a pillow, and I was like, "This is a big step for me." I took my shirt off in public and used it as a pillow. Like it was monumentous event because I just don't like people to see my torso area. It's just it always feels unsatisfactory to me. Always has.
Yeah, I understand that completely.
Do you? Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. And like running, I get what you were saying. It's like yeah. It's like you want to get to some point where you feel okay, I'm okay for the world to see me now. And the reality is Justin, you're perfect just as you are right now, no matter
No.
what.
No, buddy.
It's true though. It is
No,
true.
yeah.
It, you know, anybody that would judge you based on something which is not even bad in the first place,
Um,
they don't
mm,
matter. Those that
uh,
mind don't matter, and those that matter don't mind. That's like a little,
mind over matter?
mm, and that too, actually. It's interesting. You like dissected that little thing and made it into a short little thing that also makes sense. It has an embedded sub statement in there. That was interesting. This is
No.
why I love you, Justin.
I'm an interesting fella.
You are an interesting fella. And I'm
Apparently,
looking
yeah.
at your like little icon
Oh,
for
I've refined it.
what do you mean? No. Not this. We'll get into that. It. I'm looking at your little picture,
Oh, with that, yeah.
and you have your hat on, you have your beanie, and you're like looking through a coffee mug. Well,
These discussions, these episodes.
we can't get straight what we're talking
If
about. It's hilarious.
if you find a way of recording yourself
Uh-huh.
with better quality audio and we don't have to worry about the recording being interrupted by connection,
Yeah.
then we could both speak over the phone but still have a proper mic by our mouth that's recording separately, and then we just match the audio to a slate at the beginning.
Hmm. You think that would work?
Yeah,
Hmm.
because we just have a nicer audio that we'd be recording. You'd record a file, I'd record a file, um, and then we just put them on the same track, right?
I guess it seems
Wouldn't that
complicated.
work?
I think it would work, but it seems like, man, there must be a solution out there that would make this easier than that somehow.
Because the thing,
I don't
if we
know.
do it that way, we wouldn't have to worry about a connection issue interrupting our recording as well. It would just be us not being
Mm,
able to hear each other, but the recording on both of our sides would still be pure.
hmm. Well, at this point, I suggest we stick with this because
For now, yeah.
I don't I don't have even a laptop to like pull it into and then
Yeah,
splice it together like in Ableton or something. I don't know.
yeah, true.
I mean, let's just. I mean, I don't know. There's Zoom.
Zoom, zoom,
I
zoom.
don't Zoom. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, we haven't had that many issues with this. It was just right then.
True.
Yeah, I don't have a. It's just I have my T-Mobile LTE right here is not great. Like in this room that I'm
Well,
in,
that's why.
it's
It's,
like
just, it's all your fault.
it's all my fault. Yeah,
That's exactly. Yeah.
I think that actually is the truth in this case because are you on Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'm not. So anyway, is that a glass of milk in your little picture?
No,
That's why.
no, it's not. It's
Okay.
something else. I was at the coffee shop Brother Moto in Atlanta with my
Mm.
good buddy Justin. Not myself.
Another
Another.
Justin, it's okay, buddy. I'm your
I
friend.
know,
I'm here
man.
for you. I'm here for you. I'm your friend too. It's okay.
It's okay.
um, so tell me about your logo.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I know I didn't want to be harsh, but I just had this immediate visceral like this is McDonald's. Like it felt like
Well, I have one. I fixed some of it.
okay.
Because instead of having the raindrop,
Mm-hmm.
I actually asked my artist slash coworker
Mm-hmm.
slash hopefully considers myself a friend. Uh,
Hopefully.
you never know. I don't know.
You never know. You never
I
know.
see no reason why not to. But some people, you don't really know intentions or whether
You
you're
don't.
someone to take seriously as a human or if you're just a intern or if you're just some person that isn't actually part of my life, but I'm around them.
Yeah.
There's,
He may consider you an NPC.
I don't think so. I'm a little too.
Well, you're like a slightly advanced NPC.
I'm gonna be right. Yeah. Maybe I don't even know I'm an NPC. It could be super. Yeah, like Westworld.
Yeah, like Westworld.
Yeah, maybe I am. Yeah, maybe like Westworld.
Maybe like Westworld.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Do you know?
And in Westworld, you're a graphic designer.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Of course,
Okay, just making sure, because a lot of people
of
have
course I
not
do.
watched Westworld, which is sad.
Yeah, I watched it. I think that was actually a remake of an
It
original
is.
Westworld.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they did a great job though. I
So, yeah, no, it was. I mean, it was a very well done show
hmm
for sure. It. I wasn't super engaged with it for whatever reason, but it was. Yet I could watch it regardless.
Interesting.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting in many ways, actually. I mean, conceptually, it's terrifying,
Oh, for sure.
like for sure.
Which of course
But
I enjoyed that.
I know you do.
Oh boy.
So the sun's not crying anymore.
Okay, so let's start over,
Yeah, let's start over.
and I want you to do like an intro. You ask the question. Uh, yeah, you're playing radio host, and whenever you feel
Okay.
comfortable, I'm gonna create a silence,
Okay.
and then you will proceed.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, so I'm gonna create that silence right now.
Wait, what do you want me to talk? I don't know why you're doing this. You haven't
Oh,
laid out why.
you're like gonna be beginning the conversation as if we're just now starting the podcast.
No, the podcast started when we started recording.
Oh boy.
Yes, all of this goes up. That's the whole point.
Oh
The whole point is
no.
that we're not editing. How many times are we going to go through this in our podcast about how there is no editing?
Well,
This
the
is
last episode is for that.
what do you mean the
It
last
needs to
episode's
be
for that?
we need to be a little more precise now.
No, the point is we are showing the development
Mm.
of our gaining precision. We're not hiding anything. That's the point.
Okay, well, to be frank, which I'm not
Mm-hmm.
frank. I'm Justin. But to be frank,
Oh my God. Yes. Okay, that will cut out.
yeah, exactly. I wanted to see what it would take for you to say cut it out.
Oh, Justin. What's your frankness you need to talk about? Be frank about it.
I haven't liked one thing I've said so far.
Yeah, but I have. But I have. I've enjoyed talking with you. That means other people will enjoy it too.
See, then I was the opposite because last time, like, there's plenty of episodes that we technically recorded or tried to record that I loved every second of it, and
Well, I
you were in
think
my shoes.
we'll see. That's why we can't judge ourselves and just trust that what we're talking about is good for each other because ultimately the focus of this is us and we can't lose sight of that. Like this is Conifer and Gristleneck having conversations about our lives and showing how our relationship develops. I mean, it's pretty cool
True.
because even though we've known each other for, well, God, we went through that discussion.
Yeah.
We should have. I wish that was recorded.
I know. I wish that was recorded. No kidding.
Our like slicing and dicing for like 45 minutes about exactly when we met. But I don't know. Let's say it's been a couple years, and I know you'd probably say it's longer, but let's say it's been a couple years. We still didn't see each other that much, and it's only been very recently that we've started to delve into like a much more deep relationship. So we're kind of sharing that happening, like a real life thing forming.
Well,
That's
true.
hopefully a lifelong, connection with another person. And until we invariably end up hating each other by the end of this all, because our fame will destroy us.
I
And
don't think that's gonna happen.
okay, well, thank you. I'm glad. I don't want that to happen.
If it was to happen, you'd be the one that would first go. You know what I mean?
You think so?
Oh yeah, you'd have a god complex that randomly would appear.
You're probably right about that. No, I think you actually are probably 100% right about that.
Oh, I am, man.
I'd be like, you'd be like, Jason, do you want to record tonight? It'd be really cool. And I'd be like, oh, Justin, I got this podcast. It's with Duncan.
No,
and...
this would be sorry. I'm actually at the National Mall, and I am about to.
What is the National Mall?
Huh?
What's the National Mall?
Oh, it's the recording's doing its weird thing again.
What is the National Mall? Oh,
can you hear me?
I couldn't for a little bit.
Okay, see, it's weird, man. Things.
Well, I think I when I have a better connection, when I have a little more like flexibility in where I can be.
True.
It's just I'm kind of holed up in a little room.
True.
I'm trying to be respectful.
True.
Because I am a respectful person. But what is a National Mall? What's that?
I don't know. It's what you make of it.
What?
It's what you make of it, man.
The National Mall?
Yeah.
It's what I make of it.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's a location that is what I make of it.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh, Justin. Justin.
Okay, so this is an episode that we've already been speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we're officially starting the podcast.
We started 14 minutes.
So we have rolled into this, and
no, we rolled into it 14 minutes ago, Justin.
And so if you're listening to this,
Justin,
you just missed out on 15 minutes of chaos.
No, you did not.
It was.
No, you did not.
It was not worth your time listening.
It was actually.
If we like create a Patreon or something like that one day, then you could just have all of the wasted chaotic mess that you shouldn't be listening to. But at least if you want to, you can listen to it. I don't know why you'd want to.
That's what's interesting about like when you start hitting like you have super fans, but then it's always a fine line between like, hey super fans, this is awesome that you like me so much, but I'm also a little afraid of you.
Yeah, because like here's something I'd never even want to repeat or hear again. Yet you want to hear it. Like that's just a little.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's wild.
But I'm not. It's wild.
I'm telling you, it's not worth it. It's not worth your time.
What's not? What? Doing a podcast? Justin. I keep losing you.
What do you mean?
I didn't hear what you just said.
Oh my gosh.
I can tell by you were laughing. You felt really satisfied with yourself.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Well, if it's recording on my side, then we're A-okay.
Yeah, A-okay.
Oh boy. No, that's...
All right, so let's get serious.
Okay, we're getting serious.
Yeah, we're getting serious. So you bring down your voice a little. We're getting a little serious now. And we're going to talk about, is the sun still crying?
Is the sun still crying?
Yes.
Well,
the logo.
I never really thought of it as the sun was crying.
I did. I immediately thought it was like kind of McDonald's and the sun was
When
crying.
have you only seen like one drop represent crying? It's always
on emojis.
it's like a
Emojis.
long cry, like where it's a waterfall,
Emojis.
or it's two teardrops coming from
No, I
both
think I think
eyes.
I think emojis has a single eye tear.
Well, that's kind of like a cringy sadness.
Yes, it's like a cringy sadness. It was like the sun was having a cringy.
So the sun crying
Justin,
was
you
a
know I love
cringe.
you.
It was a
You know
cringy
I
cry.
love you, and I love you, and I think you're beautifully talented in your graphic design. I mean that 100%. But I think that just the feel wasn't quite representative of what Studio Raining Sun is, which is like this expansive, cosmic, not that somehow.
What? Not bad.
No, not
The
that.
fact that we want
Not
to reign supreme and rule the world.
yes, definitely that.
Okay.
But we want to approach this rain by catching them off guard a little. So the logo needs to be a little softer and a little
It sounds like
we get
it sounds like a good power move, you know.
yeah, like it's kind of like a little subversive. So
Yeah. So
in
maybe
order
we
to
should have a
reel in,
sun sitting on a throne with a bunch of
wow,
people kneeling around crying.
I actually love it.
It's our reign.
I love it. Or how about, oh God, this is pretty egomaniacal. You could have the sun on the throne on Earth, and then raining onto the sun are angels in heaven who are crying because the sun had to leave heaven to come down to Earth in order to do good things. And
Are
and
you
the
saying that you're the
and the
second
angels
incarnation of Jesus?
listen, the angels miss the sun so much that they're just bawling. Is this what it's like to work with your other clients, Justin? Am I like a standard client looking for logo design?
No.
This is what I want you to do.
I want you to make me into Jesus. I
Yeah.
like how a sun and rain has become being Jesus Christ.
Yes. 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 And then also, Justin, I just had a flash. If you can also incorporate the
You know, it's
moon.
funny. I just shed one tear.
Did you? You know what's funny? This is a synchronicity because I watched the Shia how do you say his name? Shia, what is his name? Shia.
Shia, Shia, Shia.
You know,
No one knows how to
anyway,
actually say his last name. It's different
I
every
don't, but
time you
anyway,
speak. Shia
he
LaBeouf?
seems,
LaBeouf?
yeah, it's something like that. And he seems awesome. He was on that Hot Ones where they eat the hot wings,
Uh-huh.
and
Oh, I haven't watched that one yet, but one of
it's
my
very good.
coworkers was.
Anyway, he sheds a single tear from one eye.
Oh my god.
He does. He
On
does.
purpose?
And they talk about it. They talk about how it's the single eye shed. Anyway, so if you could also incorporate
Hey
the
Shia, if
moon.
you're listening to this,
Yes.
let's
Yes.
hop on this podcast, buddy.
Yeah, you could be our first guest. We might need to start somewhere else before Shia, guest wise. Like maybe we can start with
Well,
like
maybe it only takes
I don't
one to
know,
hit it big, you know?
like a barista or something. We need to find like a
Well,
barista.
I'm sure Shia's worked a barista job for fun.
No, we need to find somebody who's currently a barista. They're probably a little more in our like present reach. Would be like a barista, like
Oh,
a really cool barista, but a barista.
okay.
Yeah,
I see.
good. They have good stories,
Hmm.
and they know how to make the little art on top of the thing. So they're also
So
artists.
overplayed.
So
Ugh.
it's so
Latte
overplayed.
art. Ugh.
Ugh. I don't know. I quite like it. Anyway,
Look, it's
so
an angel. It's
I,
weeping because you dropped
so
sugar in
Justin,
it.
Justin, can you also include the moon somehow in the studio raining sun? The
What's
moon,
this?
I feel like,
Now we're having a moon.
well,
Let's just do a whole. Basically, you're turning it into my cozy cosmos. You just want to add
I think
everything in the solar system.
you're right. It's coming. This is our cozy cosmos. You
Oh
know
my
what?
god.
I think I actually like the cozy
Oh
cosmos.
my
Actually,
god.
the more we're coming back to no, no, Justin, that's it. This little thing, like Studio Rating Sun, is the top level umbrella, but this podcast is Cozy Cosmos. I like it.
I
It's
brought this
cute,
up multiple times before.
and I think it's like it's kind of like your podcast. It's Justin's Cozy Cosmos. I'm just like the sidekick.
So I'm like Batman to your Robin, or
I'm like,
you're my Robin to my Batman,
hmm,
except without the leotard and
hmm.
stuff.
I don't know. I don't know if that analogy is exactly right
Yeah, probably not.
because I mean, part of my ego's like, God, do I want to be Robin? Like, I mean, he was like pretty tight and all, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'm your Robin. I'll be your Rob. I'll be your Robin, Justin. You're right. I'm gonna be your Robin. I'll run around with you. We'll do little adventures. We'll save people. I like it. Yeah, I'm your Robin.
So who's the first person you want to save?
The moon. So we start off with the
Oh
moon.
my gosh,
The
the moon's a
moon.
person?
Yes, the moon is the moon represents a person in the cozy cosmos because in the cozy cosmos, each element of the
Ooh, the dark
cosmos
side of the moon.
is representative of a human being, a soul. So here's the way I think. In our logo, if you could include the sun, the moon, somehow with the rain and the angels raining down and the throne, and maybe throw a lion in there, like a
Throw
lion.
Paramount and
No, not like Paramount, like some other way, like really, like somehow it's a single entity, but it includes all of those elements, Justin. This is a very simple graphic design job for you. You have to
okay,
include
now
angels.
you sound like an actual client.
Now, good. Okay, the angels
Now
crying.
remember, I want it to be a circle, a white circle, but I also want it to have all this text in it. It needs to be legible and the size of a penny.
And the size of a penny. I
And
love
don't
it.
forget, all has to be white.
It has to all be white, including the text.
So I guess we just need to make it Braille.
Braille.
I don't know how to read Braille. And you can't really use Braille on the screen. Maybe one day.
I'm sure it
Wouldn't that be
exists.
interesting?
It's probably a
Like
little
an e-ink
plug-in. You plug
screen
it
that
in like
has
a
like the
keyboard.
haptic feedback, and so whenever you rub your finger across it, it makes like little sensations. Like a
It would definitely change porn.
whoa, that would be weird. How would that work?
Yeah. Use your imagination.
Huh. Okay, cool.
I like how you actually sat there and used your imagination.
Well, I don't see that though. It's like,
You took it so literally. I
what do you do?
love
You
it.
take your
You're
little
like,
index finger and you just go like, oh yeah, I see what's happening.
I see. You like feel the thrusting. It's strange.
Like
A
it's like windshield
strange.
wipers. Like whoop 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 whoop
It'd be a
whoop
little like
whoop.
windshield wipers.
And then
Yes.
to the like another person, it's like you're doing that little like sassy, like You're like your little finger waving back and forth.
The sassy wave.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Man, there's so many ways this could come across. Someone could just be
I
sassy,
don't
but
think I
realistically, they're having a little internet fun time.
internet fun time. Hmm. Yeah, pornography. It seems inherently dark, in that anything that creates a division between real interaction, you're being satisfied in this way that is so easy that a lot of people, I think, don't even feel the need to go out and actually like form a relationship with a person and develop it into the point where you can actually like share a romantic bond with the person because they're depleting that like energetic source by sitting in front of a computer. Not to mention that I think a lot of the people that work in it are inherent like there's just, I don't think pornography is good for the world, Justin. Justin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right here with you.
Mm,
No, it's that's like a complicated situation because that clearly is the case.
yeah.
But then there's also people that, like, if they're afraid of other people, they seek something, so they seek that. Um, there's just a lot. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like,
And if you think about it this way too,
yeah.
though, it's one of the
Mm-hmm.
rare places or things people can do
Mm-hmm.
where you can kind of go buck wild. Like you can't say things on the street, you can't act out in public, you can't talk about certain subjects, you can't do all this stuff. But then
Yeah.
people can get home and they can just search the wildest stuff possible that you'd never imagine.
Mm.
Next thing they know, they're like, how did like a worm in the forest make me,
Make you, what?
start wanting to watch Planet Earth and stuff, you know?
I guess. I guess.
And that would be a rare situation where not only would the person go, how did this happen? But then they go, wow, nature. This is nature. It's wild. They start thinking
Mm.
about themselves and worms and the environment. Next thing you know, they see like a seal getting clubbed against ice by like a shark, like a
Or
killer
or or
whale,
Canadian or Canadians.
or a Canadian. Yeah, just slapping that seal. Yeah,
Just just clubbing it away.
yeah. The next thing you know, like little Johnny that was a freshman in his little dorm in college is now on a anti-whaling ship with long
Mm.
hair and scruff, and he's completely vegan.
Mm.
And he's going against the fishermen, but at the same time, now he's a murderer because he actually is trying to kill the people on other boats. So in
Well,
a
that's
roundabout way, he went from being a sad, lonely person, and after never being able to find satisfaction, started searching weird, weird, weird pornography,
yes.
and then led on this roundabout way of getting from never finding
Yes.
something interesting to seeing a worm, and then
Yes.
going, wow, nature's crazy, and then has a self-reflection. But because it's
Yeah.
crazy, he got high one day, and he's like, whoa, planet Earth or our planet, like this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Then they see this
Yes.
seal getting eaten and torn apart, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then he reads an article about how Canadians do that too. And he's like, what? People do the same thing? Oh my God, nature can do it, but people can't. And then, yeah, then he's on a whaling ship harpooning other people. And they're on
Hmm.
international waters. And it's like, oh, who knows what really happened?
It's okay.
Yeah. See,
Hmm.
Johnny, he didn't need a college degree for that.
That was quite the little storyline. I liked
That
it.
was pretty loaded.
It was some very it was some good lateral thinking going
Yeah, I
on.
unloaded a lot
I
on you there.
appreciate that. You did. I liked it. It
Yeah.
was interesting.
Yep.
It was interesting. Very very realistic. Very very realistic scenario.
So, this is gonna be.
Okay, you should cut that part out.
No, I'm keeping that. I actually enjoyed that.
You like
Oh,
that?
that
No,
was
I'm
fun. I
kidding.
didn't
I
expect
did,
I'd like that, but once it started and got into like a
Justin.
hypothetical world,
It was good.
yeah, it was pretty good.
It was good.
That was
We
pretty good.
have we have we have different audiences. Some people will like Conifer. Some people will like Gristleneck. Some people will like our banter. Some people will wish one of us was leading the podcast permanently, and some people will want the other person gone permanently. It's just the way people are.
Yeah, and then you
But I
have the
want.
other two, the
But it
one
doesn't
that
matter.
doesn't ever care or want to listen. Then you have the
Oh yeah.
person that's like, send me an envelope with your hair in it.
Those are the Patreon people.
Those are the Patreons, yes.
Those are the Patreoners.
Those are the
Oh,
Patreons.
otherwise known as
For
patrons.
yeah, patrons for
Patron.
$5 a month, you can
Yes.
get our really bad opening intros, commercial
Yes.
free.
They're terrible, but yeah, you
Um,
get them.
Trust me, you don't want them. My computer
Yeah,
even like
no.
slows down. It gets really inconfident whenever I put that stuff
Yeah,
in. It's
like
like,
it.
what's my purpose in life if I have to digest
Jesus.
this information?
Yes.
And then yeah, but then for $8,000, we can just start sending you body parts in the mail. Not ours, other people's.
Other people's,
Yeah.
because you have to go level up to get ours. Is
Yeah, you
what
have
you're
to
getting.
like
I
get to
say.
the blood tier, and with that blood
Mm.
tier, you'll actually give us a name and address, and we'll ship you their remains.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like I wonder if you can do that on Fiverr.
I don't know
You don't know
what that
do you
even.
know what Fiverr? Oh my gosh, you don't know what Fiverr is?
Oh, fiber. They said fiber. Yes, I know what fiber is,
Okay.
actually. Somebody told me about it recently. I wouldn't have had I not had a specific conversation about 4 days ago.
Mm.
Yeah. A young whippersnapper told me all about it.
A whipper snapper?
Whippersnapper.
Wow,
Yeah.
that term I've used plenty of times, but no one my age, I think, even knows and or cares about that term.
Well, there you go. I've now released it back into the lexicon. It's a good one. It's a whipper.
Let's think back to Y2K, you know?
Dude, I was in Daytona Beach for Y2K, and I was in a condo on the 32nd floor with my aunt and uncle, and we were looking out over the ocean, counting down the clock till it hit midnight, and absolutely nothing happened.
Well, I had a similar experience actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you in Longboat Key?
No, I was
Hmm.
actually on a farm. I was at family friends at their giant
Yeah,
farmhouse. Um,
yeah.
and there were like three or four families all together, and we had, AKA, I didn't cook, but I partook in the eating. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Really?
we had like
It's fascinating.
barbecue and everything, and they're farm people, so
Mm. Farm
everything is
people, farmers,
yeah,
farmers.
farmers. Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
term.
yeah.
Yeah, but not Quakers, but farmers.
Oh, I love Quakers.
You
They're
know, they're
they're
just
awesome.
Quakers are just they're just quaking, you know,
Dude, Quakers are
quaking
like
around.
Quakers are the Christians that really keep it real. Grow their own food. They channel and stuff. It's really
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I
Anyway,
kept it
please.
real that night because we all sat
Yeah.
around. We had the TV on. Everything's counting down to Y2K, Y2K. You know, and I'm
Yeah.
just this little young whippersnapper,
Yeah, there you
sitting
go.
there going, "What's the fuss about? This makes no logical sense at all." Uh, and
Yeah.
but then the part that got me is
Yeah.
Matt. He was the eldest son in one of the families and
Hmm.
resident of that farm home. Uh,
Mm.
he went,
Farm boy.
yeah, he's the eldest farm boy.
The elder.
Yes, he went down to. No, it was not him. Wait, yes, it was. No, it was not him. It was his father. That was it. It was his father. Uh,
That was like the reveal.
yeah,
Like the reveal in like the book. Like it was actually his father.
yeah, exactly. Went
Oh,
out
that's
into
good.
like the
Well done. Well done.
wherever they had the power, um, kind of like control boxes and all that stuff. Right
Yeah.
whenever it went to 12, hit
Yeah.
midnight, and then it
Yes.
rolled over that second to 2000.
Mm-hmm.
He shut off all the power in the house.
No, no, he didn't.
Yes, he did. And remember, this is
Oh,
a big farmhouse, giant windows. It was a
yes.
dark night. Uh, there's no cars, there's no light pollution. It's just boom. You're back in future cave era. You're back in the
I was
cave times. You
I
know.
was I was about to say I would have started cheering.
You're like, woo! We're all gonna
Finally,
die.
it's
Woo!
over. It's over. You're on a farm. You would have survived.
Actually, yeah, we would. He would have been pretty good.
Yeah, you've been good. You probably had
Yeah.
weapons even.
Oh, I'm sure there. Yeah, actually there are
Yeah.
lots.
Yeah,
They were lots, and we had trucks that we could just drive around.
for a while.
Yeah, I mean, out me and then my friend Haley, which is also she was the sister of the eldest brother. Um, whenever she I think was like 10 years old,
Yes.
that would make me 8 years old, I think. We were
Okay.
riding around in a truck, like one of those
Mm-hmm.
giant Chevy Tahoes. No, no, this was
Yes.
a Suburban back when that was a thing.
Yes.
Ooh, a Suburban. That was the ultimate tool for families. Besides the Ford like Savannah or the Chevy Savannas, those big
Yeah.
vans. But yeah, we were
Had your
driving all
first.
around the
Okay.
property, and next thing
Yes.
you know, we like completely drive over a giant log. The
Uh-huh.
whole car bounces up and down.
Yes.
That Suburban didn't even care. It kept going. It just kept on ripping, man. Um, and if that
Wait, was that the story?
regarding the truck, yeah, just the fact that we could do
Oh,
anything on
okay.
that property.
I thought you were like I thought okay. I
No,
thought
this
I was
isn't Y2K anymore. This is a couple years later.
okay, we're not Y2K
Yeah,
anymore.
we
Oh,
survived
okay.
Y2K.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
I hear that. I hear
A
that.
couple of years later. But yeah, that was the one time though, whenever all the power went off, I actually went from being, what is this to whoo. I kind of had that my stomach kind of dropped a little bit. I was
Yes.
like,
Well, I imagine it
oh
would.
yeah.
It's awesome.
I'm sure someone shrieked. I think someone shrieked.
Of
It
course they
was one of
did.
those like slightly behind, like, a delayed reaction of in a
Yes.
shriek.
Had to sink in.
I have someone's name in mind that probably would have said it in the room, but I don't want to label them a delayed shrieker.
Interesting. Well,
A
this is the
delayed
interesting
Y2K shrieker. Yeah, that
this is what's interesting about this
doesn't quite
media
roll off the
format.
tongue.
This media format we're using is that, you can really label somebody as that for life when people listen to this, particularly our patrons. When they hear this part of it, which we'll invariably cut out, they'll be able to hear this person, this late delayed shrieker, and then that person will be labeled for the rest of their life through all eternity as a late delayed shrieker.
What does DY2KS sound like if you say it at once, like a word?
DY2KS? I'm not going there, buddy.
Yeah, because that would be an easier label, but it still wouldn't be accurate.
Not going there, buddy.
Yeah, why
It's
not? We
too.
can do that. We can
It's
go
pretty much
places.
everything that would come out would not be helpful.
I just wanted to see what you. I mean, I already have my answer,
Me too.
but
I mean, it's probably the same one.
that's up to the listeners to decide. Once we
It's the same one. It's the
start
same.
releasing these, yeah, share a comment, drop a comment with the word that you think we
I, I just had this
both thought.
vision of like, I just had this hilarious vision of like the first people that will start to listen to this who we don't know at all. And like, it's like, who are you?
I know exactly. And just imagine, what if the listeners start calling themselves
Yes.
the word that we would have said if we tried to describe or say DY2KS as one word. You
Oh
know,
no,
what if the
no,
listeners start calling themselves that?
no, 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 no! Don't you shouldn't have put that out there.
Well, there are
You just put that,
those are the Patreon
Justin.
people, man.
Why did you put that out there? You shouldn't have done that. You should have put that out there. You shouldn't have done that, Justin.
Well, the thing is, we have to get enough power, and with power, we have influence. And with influence, we can tell them to do whatever we say.
You're right.
So, whenever that happens, you are
You're
retiring that
right.
jersey.
Yes,
Yep,
retiring that
you're
jersey.
retiring that jersey. But for those OGs, you'll still have that jersey in your closet.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
feel free to
the
champion that.
reality is, Justin, is our patrons might end up being like your mom and my mom.
Nah, I don't know. Maybe yours, not mine. She wouldn't go
Your
last
mom,
through this.
your, your mom would be like, "Okay, I'm shutting this
I mean, once I
off."
brought up the Patreon, yeah, it's like, what the
The
heck?
patrons,
She
she's
doesn't
like,
know what
"What?"
that is. She knows what patron is,
Well,
not Patreon. She's not Patreon it
she's not patriotic.
on it, but she could be a patriot.
Well, but is she patriotic?
No,
No,
no, she's not Russian.
no, no, she's not.
No,
I thought she was.
mm-mm,
Hmm,
no.
weird. I just thought Tompkins' maiden name, which I don't even know, sounded Russian.
Yes, that East Anglo-Russian.
Well, Tompkins is your dad's name, I presume, and your mom's name was something other than
It was
Tompkins.
Skinner.
Skinner.
Hmm.
Is she related to the late B.F. Skinner?
Your guess is mine.
You know who B.F. Skinner is?
No,
He was the one that did like the really, 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 really evil, cruel tests on animals regarding
of course you'd
like
know that.
like the behavior and
Oh my gosh.
psychology of like dogs. He'd like shock them, and he'd do weird stuff, Skinner.
Well, someone had to find out.
I mean, I think it's Skinner. And now that like I'm saying it, I'm like, I know he was a psychiatrist, but now I'm wondering if it's actually Skinner or it's somebody
It's
else and
probably
I'm
someone
mixing.
else.
It might be Skinner.
Yeah, it's probably someone else. But then
Could
the
be Skinner.
other family,
Yes.
my grandmother's side, they're the Palmers, and they're from Vermont. But
Oh, these are the Vermontans,
mm-hmm,
the ones that are like all like they like to imbibe in the fermented grains.
maybe I'm not quite sure. They're just nice people. And then in the town that they're from, that's where Robert Frost was buried, which is really cool because Robert Frost was a great writer, if I say so myself.
He's the one that talked about which path to take, correct?
Yeah,
Mm. I still don't know which one I'm on.
just check him out. He's really nice. Very simple poems that can make you think a lot.
Mm.
Nice little short stories. And then my grandfather, um, same uh, family. So he was married to my grandmother that is a Palmer from Vermont, but his family, um, somewhere down his lineage, he's related to Charles Dickens.
Really?
Yeah, so that's cool too.
Dickens.
The Dickens family.
I quite loved David Copperfield. It was I just love that novel, which was actually written as a serial.
Really?
But yeah, it was published in the newspaper, I believe, or a journal of some sort in London, and it was written serially and then later collated.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Now I read that when I was pretty heavy into an Adderall addiction. I often wonder if I would have even gotten through the first like 50 pages without that. But when I was popping, man, I could go through a book. And they were also very like visceral and very like I felt very transplanted to whatever storyline I was in a way that my
Connection just
sober mind,
bounced.
yeah, it was more like I was able to really like manifest in my mind like these scenes in ways that my sober mind still does it, but it's a little more loose somehow.
Hmm.
I definitely don't recommend it. The trade-off is not worth it even remotely because
Well, I told you
I
about my experience with Steve Jobs, right?
don't. No. Mm-mm.
Oh, the book, his autobiography, not
Oh,
actual Steve Jobs.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
It would have been
Yeah,
cool.
that might have been the best time of my life.
Might have
It
been.
might have been. Maybe I
It
could have
might have been.
influenced him not to let Johnny Ives take over when he. um, but yeah. So I read that book, um, front to back, in one night,
What? Really?
and wrote a paper on it. slash presentation, and then
in one
gave the
night.
presentation the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Killed it,
Killed
killed
it.
it,
Killed
and then
it.
went back and slept for like 15 hours.
Mm.
Uh,
Was this in college, college or high school?
First semester of college.
Hmm.
So you can call that an episode for sure. But yeah, that was a crazy time because that book is well over 1,000 pages, and
Wait, you just said you can call that an episode. What are you talking about?
oh, like when else do you go from being normal to superhuman?
Oh, I thought you were like I thought you were like giving some sort of warning that the podcast was going to be over soon, and that was like your way of like ending it and then having the last word
Oh, I didn't
or
think about
something.
that. That could be a good way. We could just find a way of always finishing with the best word in. Nah, let's not do
Yeah.
that.
No,
I'd
we
hate
shouldn't have
that.
any rules.
I'd
The second we have rules, it starts to become work. And the second it's work, I'm not calling in anymore.
oh dang.
And I mean that.
Those are some strong words.
Well, I was talking to like Gerard today, and like I pulled out. Oh, I know. I was gonna try to work on the logo.
Oh boy.
I know. And then I'm like, so he got me some paper and some pencils and
Of
some
course, because he's
charcoal.
nice. He's a wonderful
And
person.
he's a wonderful
So what'd you
man.
do to
He
screw
is.
that up?
Well, no, so I started doing it, and I did it for like literally like like 7 seconds, and I looked up at Gerard, and he looks at me, he goes, "It feels like work, doesn't it?" I was like, "Yeah." So then I put it all away and didn't do it because he knows that I don't like to do anything that feels like work. If it feels like work, I'm out.
Jeez, if I had that mindset. Oh God.
Well, it's a wonderful, but the thing is if you know me, the things I do choose to do, most people wouldn't go near with a 10-foot pole.
Well, yeah, you're like, oh, let's clean out this sewage line because
Yeah, exactly.
because
Let's clean up the
a
sewage
squirrel
line.
wasn't able to cross the little stream that happened,
Exactly.
and so now you're
Yes,
gonna dig a ditch for 50 hours, and that's
I do
not
all
work.
this I do all the stuff people don't want to do. Like
But choosing a
like I was
swatch for paint on a wall, you're like, oh,
oh yeah, terrible. I was walking my dog, and there was a dead bunny rabbit in the street.
yes.
Cute little dead bunny rabbit, and it was relatively fresh. And I was
How'd
like,
you know? Did you poke it?
here's what I did. I picked it up,
Oh
and
God.
I buried it, and I
Oh
had no
God.
implements, so I used my hands to dig a
Why'd you
hole.
bury it?
And I buried it, and I covered it
Why'd you
up,
bury
and
it?
and I made like a little like tombstone for it.
For bury the bunny?
I buried the bunny. The bunny deserved a dignified service, and I said some words for the bunny rabbit, and I figured it's better than being slowly ground up by people's tires on the street. I mean, it deserved better than that.
Well, you know what's another option? You could have
What,
put it
Justin?
off the street, and other animals could have partook in
Well, here's the
their
thing.
natural cycle
Well, it's all that. Even burying it, the natural cycle is going to
and
happen because it's
bury the
underground.
bunny wouldn't have had to been buried, but rather bury the bunny could have been eaten by bury the bunny's friends.
Okay, well, here's what happened. I went back the next day, and apparently you got to bury stuff a little deeper than I realized because something had dug it up, and it was like
Ooh,
it was a mess.
heck yeah.
I was like,
That's
what?
nature, man. Nature's scary.
This is like this is the whole like 6 feet under situation. Makes sense.
Ooh, oh, good point. Is that like the depth that you have to do without stenches to reach?
It's like it's like the depth you have to do where you don't come back, and like your like great aunt is being carried off by a coyote.
I wonder who like decided, all right, let's another inch at a time until they finally get to 6 feet and go, up, this is it.
They, they only went an inch at a time.
Yeah.
They're like, well, 5 feet 7 inches didn't work. Let's try 5 feet 8,
Yeah, exactly like the Burrow family.
which is exactly how tall I am.
Yeah, the Burrow family. That's exactly, yeah,
Yeah.
that's or we could just whatever family name you so choose. But
Yes.
because you have like the Smiths, maybe they were blacksmiths. But here's or whitesmiths, but you know what I'm saying. Or
Hmm.
you just have like
Hmm.
the Burrow, whatever. I don't know. It's a bad name, but here's blank family, and their legacy was just knowing that whenever they die, they're gonna dig an extra inch deeper than the previous. And so I know Aunt, she got taken off by that coyote, and Mama,
This
whew,
makes.
that bear took her. But I might make it one inch
Yeah,
deeper.
but you don't know because it's like a game. You're making a game out of this whole thing. That's pretty novel.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like,
Yeah. I'm.
you know, finally you might get to the point where a family member doesn't actually get to see your body get dragged off
Mm,
days later. But then you'll have that one family
mm.
member that's always ignored. You're like, why can't you just make it 6 feet deep already?
Yeah, I mean,
They're
but
still they're
forget
still at
them.
2.5 feet. And it's like, dang toes are still out of the ground. You know, it's like, just dig deeper, man.
Just dig deeper.
they they didn't have shovels long enough. Now they only use
It's
like their hands. They just
mm,
simpletons.
simpleton. Well,
The
it's actually
simpleton family.
the
that's,
simpleton. The
that's who that
simpleton.
was.
Yes, that's where it came from,
A century
actually.
at a time it took for
That's
them to
where it
finally
came
get smart
from.
enough to realize.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
if
think
you're
the
a
entire
simpleton, that just
lineage.
means that you don't even
Yeah.
know how to bury yourself.
Well, that's actually the origin of the simpleton family, is the toes were sticking out, and that's how where it came from. Actually, it's really cool. There's a natural burial place here in Gainesville. I don't know if you remember it. Prairie Creek Conservation Cemetery.
Definitely not, because I don't visit cemeteries often.
Well, this is where you and I are very different. Anyway, I love this place. It's all natural burial. It's inexpensive, no headstones. They
What is
do
natural? What is that?
natural burial means that there's no embalming fluid. You're just wrapped in a shroud, and then you're put in a very thin box that degrades extremely quickly, and the natural process occurs, and it's just, and you help dig the hole. You have like the family, and it's a very primitive.
So, do they
Yes.
know, like, all right, let's dig up a new hole, and then they dig into another body, and they're like, oh God.
No, no, they have a catalog system that, like, actually, it is marked, but it's just not with a headstone. So
Oh.
they have these little tiny
I wonder how
markers
many times they've messed
that.
up on that. Wouldn't that be scary? So you gotta bury poor Aunt Margie, and then you're like, oh dang, I struck gold. You're like,
Well,
oh dang, it's just rotten bones and flesh.
I think what's so interesting, yeah, and like,
Yeah,
I think that
that's.
like the body probably degrades pretty quickly.
I think what 3 weeks for the entire body to be gone,
No,
right?
I don't know.
I think it's something like that.
In University of Tennessee, they have the Body Farm. You familiar with that?
Ah, yes,
You
that's
are familiar with the
crazy,
Body Farm.
man.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, pretty cool.
You know,
But
see,
yes,
yeah,
no.
I agree. It's cool in the sense that it's a thing, and understanding the process of how that actually occurs, and like that's
Mhm.
cool because it's
Yes.
cool to see nature actually happen. Personally, I'd rather watch like a bear slowly disappear. Not a human body, and
Mm.
the people are like, "Yeah, sign me up for that." I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah, it's kind of weird
okay."
giving your body to that, but
I get it. Someone's like, I want to take care of people by like
yeah.
being a funeral director. So I get that, but seeing how many days it takes for a toe to fall off, that's just
Hmm.
kind of like, mm,
Hmm.
oh, we got it past the subcutaneous flesh. Now we're at that next level. Ooh.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting that you bring that up because I think a lot of science falls into
Mm-hmm.
that category of like, are we actually exploring anything, or are we just kind of morbidly curious about what's going to happen when I try to drown these rats? And
This gets back to that
do the other
worm, man.
rats like this? Yeah, like the study I read the other day. It's like rats show compassion when other rats are drowning, and they try to save them. In fact, they try to save the other rat over accessing more food. It's like, who decided to do this study? Like, like, why are we trying to determine if rats show compassion in this way of one of their little guys is drowning? Let's just assume that animals care about
Because,
each
well,
other.
apparently rats and humans have a lot in common.
No, I guess we know humans try to save people over eating the
So
food.
it's like the only way for maybe certain scientists to feel connected to humanity is by beginning connected to these rats that have some humanistic traits, scientifically speaking, and they can't be close to anyone in real life that shares their own flesh. And so instead, they share life with animals in hopes to feel more comfortable.
Of ourselves are diametrically opposed to each other because it's I feel like you're I feel like you underneath it all have this struggle with that connection with people, so you actually understand or are able to articulate scenarios where that actually has value, whereas I feel like me, I'm kind of the other side of that, where like I understand the human connection very strongly, and I think that's part of our attraction to each other is that we are intrigued by one another because this core fundamental view of the world somehow is actually so deviant that we somehow fill some sort of yin yang situation, because I would never come up with what you just said about this scientist is so disconnected that they use the vehicle of this animal study to actually learn more about human interactions, whereas for me the human interaction is almost just innate and just kind of comes naturally, and I just find that really fascinating. This is why I'm fascinated with you, Conifer, because you're a sociopath.
Well, I don't visit cemeteries for fun, so.
You are. I do bring a very good point. I spend a lot of time in cemetery. I'm very attracted to death and spirit
Yeah, because you are the Antichrist.
and ghosts. But we've talked about that. We have talked about that, haven't we?
Yeah. Kind of ironic considering you want our logo to be,
The Antichrist. The Antichrist
the
logo.
Antichrist.
That's
Well, actually, it's not. Well, dang, now you just took it somewhere else.
I know.
Oh,
But our logo does
man.
need to be the angels crying on top above the sun who's in a throne, and the rain is coming down and actually pouring over the sun, and the sun's looking up like, I'll be back soon. Don't worry, guys. I just have a
But the
job to
sun's
do
like
here.
eternal, so it can't actually, the fire can't be put out.
The fire can't be put out. It's eternal, and that's the third time the word eternal has come up to me in the past hour in this synchronistic way when you just said that. So that's interesting. So is the moon needs to be involved somehow. That's all I'm saying.
We can just have like
The moon.
someone bend over at some point.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I've identified like the people in my life as like planets, and I feel like
Okay, continue.
I feel like you might be Earth
Okay.
because I feel like you might be Earth. Like you're kind of you kind of have this nature about you that's like nature is metal, and like nature is metal. It's like the subreddit nature is metal. I don't know if you've ever been on that one, but it's it's
That
like
is
all
that like nature and metal music comes together?
no, it's more like wow, this look at this pack of lions chasing down this
Oh, that sounds amazing.
exactly.
I've seen content like that.
Whereas when I see that, like that one, I just like keep scrolling. I'm like, okay, I've seen that before. I don't need to see that again. The
Yeah,
nature,
because
yeah,
you're like,
like
oh, bears don't kill people. They're beautiful little teddy bears.
exactly.
But a bear is the closest thing to a monster we have on Earth. When
No,
you think of a
no,
monster,
no. The closest thing to a monster on Earth is a sociopathic human being.
Nah, no. A bear is a. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, a werewolf. No, a bear.
No,
Bears
bears are
are
fine.
monsters.
No, bears are beautiful and
Look at
amazing.
me. I'm a big scary bear. I'm 15 feet tall, and I'm gonna claw your head apart. And then while you're still alive, I'm gonna rip you apart, flesh
Yeah,
piece by piece, while you're still alive, and just eat you. I'm
yeah.
just gonna eat you while your
Mm-hmm.
offspring watches in the corner, going, "Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, there's no remorse here." While a wolf, real predators, they go straight in for the kill. Done. Bears are monsters.
No,
They'll
bears are
eat you
awesome.
while you're alive. They don't care about your suffering.
They'll eat you while
Nothing.
you're alive. They're not gonna eat me.
All right, we'll see.
Are we
Your
gonna set up this
obituary
experiment?
is going to be death by
We're gonna
bear.
set up this experiment. We're gonna put Jason in a cage with a bear and see if the bear eats Jason.
I mean, that's a given.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with that.
Oh boy, I'm talking about that. Not that quote tamed unquote, because you can't really say quote unquote. You have to say quote tamed unquote. That's what actually works.
You know, I've always thought of that too.
Yeah,
I have.
of course. Because I also like
Of,
quote unquote. I'm like, no, it's
of
quote
course.
tamed unquote. So if you're in a cage with a quote tamed unquote bear, you have a higher
Yeah.
chance of living.
Yeah, I'm not saying a tame bear. I'm saying, okay, you can
Oh yeah,
drop
no,
me
you're
in.
dead if you're with a real bear,
No, you're not. You know how many people interact with bear? Justin, you need to go camping more.
bro,
Bears show up. They don't
bro.
eat everybody in line. Yeah, if you catch a bear on a
Yeah,
bad
because they already
day,
ate little Johnny in the corner.
I
You
mean,
didn't see him.
if the bear's a little testy that day and hasn't had his morning coffee or something, yeah, he might eat you.
That's morning pint of blood.
Oh, leave the bears alone. They're just
Oh
trying to get
my.
by. Leave
Yeah, try
Brittany
to get
alone.
yeah, try to get by eating everyone through your house to be able to get to the fridge, to then go through the next door neighbor's fence, and then eat up that
Justin,
bedroom.
bears are just misunderstood.
Oh, you're misunderstood, my
They're
friend.
they're misunderstood little creatures.
Yeah, they're misunderstood
Like
by the fact that you don't understand their nature. They're very misunderstood. And that
oh,
incredibly misunderstood.
I think animals
They're
can
vicious
sense your
killers, man.
energy. I think bears, they're like
Yeah, they'd
they can
kill
sense
you
your.
quick.
No. They'd be like, his purpose on Earth is much greater. That I can't eat him, even though I'm very hungry. I can't eat Jason because he has
Yeah,
more work to
his
do.
importance is so important that um
Yes.
the deer I'm trying to eat to be able to feed
Yeah.
myself and my cub and everything.
Yeah.
Jason's
Yeah.
gonna relocate it for the sake of
Yeah.
making sure it doesn't get killed by a bear.
Yes.
Doing that, the bear has no food. But so then the bear will start eating smaller animals. And when it does that, the smaller animals are not going to be able to feed off another smaller creature, and those creatures are going to grow more. There's going to be more in population. But then you're going to have that point where it hits a like a shelf, hits a ceiling. That's the right word. It hits a ceiling, and then they can't actually so as well. Their population will actually dwindle below the population it was before, when the bears are still eating the deer and everything. Giant ecosystem problem where the system is disrupted,
I thought you
and
didn't like bears though.
the big bad predator that you think, I don't like, bears are scary. Never said they should not be around. There's a difference, but you shouldn't interrupt their natural cycle. You just shouldn't near them, and if you are near them,
Yeah, but if you
you
go
should at least be
camping,
able
you're
to
near
protect yourself.
bears. So should we not go camping because there's
No,
bears
go
around?
camping. You just should be able to, I don't know, kill it if it's about
I don't
to bite
carry
into your
with
girlfriend's
what?
face.
With what? I'm gonna carry a gun with me when I go camping everywhere because I'm afraid of the bears.
A machete.
A machete. That's what it is. Yes, a machete. A machete. That's the right one. That's very like a very intimate way.
Yeah,
Justin, here's the
a
thing.
machete. Yes.
Bears are like
I
big.
don't know. Bears are friends. I'm a
cuddly
bear.
friends that we're not their natural prey,
Dude,
so
yeah, we are. Bears eat anything.
they
They
don't
eat themselves.
they don't
They'll eat their
care
own
about
cub.
us.
If they're hungry, they'll
They
eat their
don't
own child.
they don't care. They're fine. They just
My point, they
you know
don't
what it
care.
is? I figured it out. Bears, they we just need to talk to them a little. We just need to get the bear, sit them down, and be like, okay, we're gonna hold a little like parliament here, and we're gonna make some decisions.
A
And one of our
parliament
decisions,
bears.
it's a parliament of bears, and we're gonna say, hey, you guys need to stop eating your babies. It's not cool. It's not cool to eat
So
your
you're gonna say
babies.
this to the bears? What are they gonna say
Yeah,
back?
I'm I'm just talking to the bears in
Yeah,
English.
what
Bears understand English, Justin.
Okay, so we're now in a court of law.
Yes,
We have a
a
sketch.
parliament.
We have a sketch artist.
Oh yes,
We
a
have
stenographer.
everything. Yes,
Stenographer.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
that.
Tap 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 tap. Yes.
And a little scratching along, like, oh look, Mama Bear, Papa Bear didn't get their porridge. And then you're little Jason over here going, okay, hey, here we are all
No.
friends and family, and I love each other. And you're just gonna be going on, dancing around. Now you're like a court jester.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See,
For
we're
sure.
bringing
I'm the
back
court
to the
jester.
whole like king
Yes.
queen thing.
Oh yes.
In this parliament of bears,
Yes. The Parliament of Bears.
yeah. So the person that's writing down the dialogue that's happening right now,
Yeah.
whenever
The
you ask a
stenographer.
bear, yeah, whenever you're asking that bear a direct question, a line of questioning, what will that person write down from the bear's perspective?
Well, like grrr, grrr. Like I don't know, bear noises.
Well, then how do you understand that?
Well, we gotta figure out how to translate them.
Like dolphins?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, so we'll put them in isolation tanks and give them LSD.
Okay, so if we
Yeah.
so if we can't understand bears, you're like, oh, well, we just have to learn the language. We have to learn how to talk with them.
Yeah,
You know
but
what you just set yourself up to? You know what you just set
yes.
yourself up to, buddy?
Tell me.
Back to your games, your tricks with these scientists. They're like, I don't know how to talk with humans,
Yes.
so I'm going to dedicate my life in finding humanity in creatures,
Yes.
and I'm going to try to figure out how they talk.
Yes.
And I might have to do some very inhumane things because
No.
inhumane means you shouldn't do it to a human, but
No.
it can imply you can
No.
do it to a animal. And so this scientist is going to be like, oh, I'm going to do some interesting stuff with this bear, but for the sake of science, so we can now, in the court of law, in our parliament of bears, we can
Yes.
communicate with them. So then they can explain how, by you saving little Bambi over there, actually killed off both their brothers and sisters. And
Yes.
Mama Bear had to find a big daddy somewhere else. And then it was a long winter, and that Mama Bear ended up having to kill Big Daddy
Yes.
because Mama Bear needed to eat. And so now you had this really messed up ecosystem, and Jason's
Yeah.
just walking around in
right.
his little orange vest, and he's going,
You're right.
"What a
You're-
beautiful day to be alive."
Justin, you're totally right. This is probably a bad.
Because
this- okay,
Mr.
you're right.
Rogers was
This
a
doesn't work.
sniper.
This doesn't
He
work.
was a sniper in Vietnam, and
Justin,
Mr. Rogers
Justin,
killed so many people, and then he
Justin,
became Mr.
I
Rogers,
know.
this happy ray of sunshine.
Bear
While
Parliament.
every second he's truly just going, ah, the white of their eyes.
Okay, Justin, Bear Parliament might not be the best idea. All I'm saying is that perhaps there might be
And
some other way. And this actually, I wanted to bring this up with you because you're the only person I can bring this up with that may or may not laugh at me. You might.
let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. Okay. So you know how like you're born and you have to eat, right? You gotta eat food.
So I'm told.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, I'm
So-
alive today. I don't
Yes,
remember being
okay.
a child going, "Ooh, I gotta eat."
Okay, yeah. So you're a child and you're eating, right? And you're eating, and as you're consuming food, you're growing. You're literally like creating new cells, and these things are happening in your body, and you're literally becoming a larger organism. Now, at some
Okay.
point, we stop becoming any bigger. Okay, I mean like stature. Our
We shouldn't be growing any bigger.
yes, okay, like our stature. I knew where you were going with. Okay, the second I said it, I'm like, Justin's gonna say something. Justin's gonna say something, and there it is. So
Hook,
our
line, and sinker.
our stature. So maybe we should just stop eating. Like once you get to full size, you just stop eating. You stop eating because you don't need to eat it. We're not growing anymore. Why do you need to eat it?
What would Whole Foods and Kroger's do?
Exactly.
What would they do
They
anymore?
go out of business.
Go out of
That's the
business.
point. No more Publix.
You'd also be out of business, though.
Why?
You'd be dead.
Why?
You'd be in a 2-foot grave.
Why? Why? I'd be in a simpleton grave. But why?
Yeah, because everyone in the village would be like, "Why is this dude eating?
Because
He's not eating."
he's not growing anymore.
Yeah, and then you just were like, I guess he just died there, and you're just standing. You're not standing. You're like sitting at some bench somewhere, completely just dead, and you just died there, thinking that you didn't need to eat.
But
And so they just pushed you over in a 2-foot grave,
well, so
and then nature said, "Well, I'll eat
you
you."
didn't really answer you haven't really answered my question.
I don't know what your question was.
The question is,
should we eat?
why do you need to eat once you are done growing?
It's a way of refueling your cellular structure. So as cells die, they can be replenished, thus keeping a balance in your body. And that way you can actually stay alive. But the problem is, why do we age? Is something in our biology says that when we get to a point, cells stop regenerating to a degree they once were, and instead start, well, degenerating. Um, and that's not good because regeneration is what you need for cellular structures to be healthy and for us not to age. And so if you don't eat at all, then you're not giving your body the ability of actually healing itself. And so if you don't eat, that's only going to make your aging increase, I'd imagine.
That's
So you
actually
would
not
die
true.
faster.
Actually, people who fast extended periods age slower.
I guess what I mean is like completely stop eating.
I think that's what I'm doing.
Well, nice to know you, man. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
another, maybe 1 or 2 more podcast episodes before you're just gonna be just fake number. That'd be
I'm gonna give it
sad,
a go.
actually.
I'm gonna give it a go.
How many days?
Well, I've done. I think I did actually a good 3 days, no food, no water.
That was what, last week?
Yeah, easy.
Yeah,
No
okay.
problem. No problem. I mean, after you get past day 1.5, you're not even hungry anymore. At all. Never thirsty. I feel like
You feel now with a full.
I feel like perhaps eating is unnecessary. See,
Yeah, I don't have anything to.
Justin,
add to that.
I'm not.
I'm sure there's something to it to a degree.
I'm playing
with circumstances.
I'm playing particularly ignorant right now. I'm very aware of all the cellular situations going on with eating and the science behind. I have some trade in science, and I'm playing almost a little coy because I'm presenting an idea that's so radical that it's absurd. And what I'm
Yes.
starting, the way I'm
Someone
starting
could
to live my
say
life,
so.
I'm starting to challenge all these things that I've just assumed are the way I'm supposed to live my life, the things I'm supposed to do, because that's what I was told.
I see.
The more I'm willing to experiment and say, well, do I really have to eat? I don't know. I've never gone long enough to even get close to the point where I actually feel hungry. I mean, it's amazing. Like, we eat all the time. Like, when was the last time you really felt true hunger? I mean, we eat 3 meals a day. We're running around. We're barely, I mean, you're only hungry because your insulin is now spiking and dropping from the last meal you had. Like real
I mean,
hunger is like we've lost it, and most of us.
see, to me, if
Yeah.
I'm hungry,
Mm-hmm.
it's generally because I got nauseous or lightheaded, because I haven't eaten and something is happening where I need something on my stomach
Yeah.
to help that, or else I'm just nauseous and lightheaded the entire time.
Yeah.
Um, and that's just not good. So,
Yeah, but that goes away after like 24 hours. You don't even feel that anymore. That's just a really short thing you feel. You get
um,
you get through that, it's done. You don't feel it. Anyway, whatever. Everybody's different. The bottom line is that for my reality, I'm not 100% convinced that I have to eat. I'm just not. Like I don't. I'm not convinced any of us have to eat. I'm not saying we don't. I'm saying I haven't challenged that assumption. So I'm willing to challenge some assumptions that just because it's been passed down that you have to eat, why don't we start challenging these things that we assume are just right? We assume they're right. It's like, I don't know, it's like a flat earther. That sounds ridiculous to me. I think the earth is round, probably, but I've never
yeah,
really.
it is.
It is. The earth's round. I mean, it's round. It's round. I mean,
Let's not get that community.
don't go there. Jason, you can not eat all you want, but please tell me you think the Earth is round. A globe. A globe.
Yeah,
um,
that would be preferred.
I just think it's interesting how many things that we don't challenge because we just keep going and doing our thing like we've always done. Like, oh, I'm just gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna keep. It's like, wait a minute. Maybe if we stop killing animals, other animals will stop killing each other, and then we'll stop eating altogether. Because maybe eating plants isn't good either. And maybe all we're supposed to do is every once in a while have a piece of fruit because it tastes good. Not even for like regenerative purposes. In
Well,
fact,
then how does fruit
maybe,
get created?
maybe,
How does it
what do you
survive?
mean?
It
What do you
doesn't
mean?
Fruit doesn't need nutrients either.
No, I don't know, but I'm not saying the plants don't live and die. I'm saying as human beings,
Oh, so humans just can not die, but everything else can.
I think that might be true. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never experimented with this.
That gets back to your taking over the world.
It's really, it's a return to the Garden of Eden, is really what I'm talking about here.
You have mentioned that a lot.
A perfect place where we're all fruitarians and nobody and you live forever and the
Did you say
animals.
fruitarian?
Yeah, fruitarian, all eats fruit.
Is that real?
Oh, it's a real thing.
Really?
In fact, I'm ever heading that direction for sure. I mean, Justin,
Really?
over the past
That's weird.
over the past month, I kid you not, 80% of my calories have come from pineapple. Pineapple specifically, pineapple.
Huh.
I love pineapple.
Well then,
I'm still
that's
here. I have no deficiencies. I feel better than I've ever felt. I am completely energetic. I'm been running. I've been exercising, weight. I've been doing everything. Like I'm just as I challenge more of what seems to be for sure in our life, when I actually start butting up against those, I'm like, wait a minute, maybe this is just not the way it has to be. Maybe this is just our reality is flexible and animals killing each other, including humans, maybe that's not necessarily has to be the case. The Garden of Eden. That's the whole idea is this return to a place where the animals get along. That's like a biblical thing.
hmm.
That's how it started. If you believe in the Genesis story, I mean,
I still don't understand how it can happen.
I don't. I think maybe it's outside of our understanding. Like maybe our entire arc of science
Huh.
is is
Or
so human centric that we've injected our own limitations as these part God, part animal beings, that the animal part and the limitations that we think are there have been so injected that we're missing out on something significant, and that's our connection to the divine might be the only energy that you need.
Okay.
I know, it's insane. It's insane, but maybe it's the most sane thing there is. Maybe what we're doing now is insane. Maybe this idea that we have to die ourselves is insane. Maybe the entire reincarnation cycle is some sort of prison that we continue to enter into because we are coming into a farming of misery. Maybe some extraterrestrial entity is farming us for our toil. It's feeding off of our negative and our negativity and our like spiritual disease. And then they
Did you say what? Turl?
toil.
What's that? What's that?
Toil.
Turmoil?
No, toil.
Toil.
Like toiling away. It's like it's
What is that?
working for it's like it's the
Huh.
assumption that our lives have to be difficult. Basically, it's
Oh, okay.
like we toil away. It's like this is difficult because life's difficult. I'm toiling.
Oh.
Let me toil away. And it's like the idea in the Bible is that when Adam and Eve ate the fruit, that their lives were the fall of man, and that your life's going to be toiling from now on. It's going to be difficult. But maybe the entire story of Genesis is not written by the God of light, but maybe the God of darkness. And the reality is that if we just stop pitting ourselves against one another and we start to love each other unconditionally, that we can exit this cycle.
I don't know what to add to that.
Or we can instead go to McDonald's and get some French fries because they're so good. Do you like McDonald's French fries? Because I think they're amazing.
I mean, if you already get French fries, McDonald's is probably the best option for
Aren't they
French
good?
fries. Yeah, they're pretty good.
There's
They're
something
pretty
about
good.
them. There's something about them. Like the way they fry them and with the salt, it's like just plays right into our weaknesses. It's like this
Oh, they
is
know it. Apparently, like they went to, uh, like for addicts,
yeah,
apparently they scientists and stuff like
yeah.
what creates addicts,
Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, how can we do that to our food?
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be a bunch of baloney. They don't serve that, but
Oh, I don't think it's baloney at all. I think it's all highly engineered to make us want more and more and more and more and more and more. Because you
yeah,
sell more, increase profits. Boom.
true.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's French fries dipped in Nutella.
Wait,
Mm.
what?
I've never actually done that, but it sounds incredible, doesn't it?
Oh, okay. You were okay.
I'm speculating how amazing that would be. If you took,
Waiting.
if you took McDonald's French fries and you dipped them in Nutella, that would be two of my favorite things ever in one go.
I know that's pushing it.
Yeah, well, you gotta push the boundaries.
Okay.
I
All
know.
right, man. You can do that.
I will not do it. I won't.
Thank you, buddy.
I won't because Nutella has milk in it, and I don't eat animal products.
Oh.
In fact, based on what I've said, I don't eat anything anymore.
I
Have you
mean,
heard of
yeah.
a breatharian?
What do you just eat the air?
Yes, there's just people.
Oh my God! No!
Listen, Justin.
No, you're not. No, no,
There's
that's
yes.
not.
Listen, Justin. Listen to me. There's people. They call themselves breatharian. I think they're mainly in India,
Well, they just
but
go.
then there's
They just
no,
do that.
no. They just believe they get all the energy that they need from the air, and it's like a breatharian, and they also tend to be people that do sun gazing, where they look directly at the sun
Oh my
while it's
god.
while it's either in the morning or afternoon, like night.
While it's cooking their eyes.
No, while you can look at it like a sunset or like a sunrise,
Yeah,
and you
okay.
stare at it,
Yeah.
and you absorb the photons, and these
Okay.
photons feed you, and the air does too.
And when was their first death?
I think it happened pretty quickly. And it's
How's
funny.
it work? That does not.
It's insane, right? And it's funny because they've actually tried to study these people scientifically. They put them into like controlled environments.
Let me guess. They denied all science.
No, well, so what happens is they put them in these controlled environments, and invariably they start to like get real weak. Like, this way. But wait, you gotta hear me out. You gotta hear me out. They get real weak, but the people who are the breatharians, they claim it's because they're not able to be in the environment, the natural environment, like like the control conditions were themselves impacting the study because they have to be
That's a
like
crock of.
out in the woods or like it seems a little suspect, doesn't it?
That's very suspect, dude.
I think
That sounds like flat earthers.
I mean, people have fasted for very long time periods, particularly with water. People have water fasted for a very long time. Like, you don't have to eat for a long time. Like,
you have to drink though.
Theoretically, yes. Theoretically.
I don't know about theoretically. I think it's.
You think it's pretty definite.
That's pretty definite.
You don't think it's a theory. See,
no.
I think you just hit on to how I'm living my life. Is I'm assuming everything is a theory.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, that can be a problem because at one point do you just go, okay, I'm going to take this information and go with it.
I guess if I stop eating and I am okay in a couple months, then I'll be like, okay, don't need to do that.
How will you know though in a couple months?
Because I'll be alive.
Okay. Oh, that's your justification. Okay.
Yes. If I don't eat or drink for 2 months and I'm still kicking and healthy,
then you're alive. Apparently.
then eating is a trick.
Dang. That's some sound logic.
This is why you're here. This is why you're here, is to provide the commentary to my out there-ness.
That's definitely out there.
It's out there.
I mean,
I'm
some people could say it's extraterrestrial.
Some people could say it's committable.
Some people could say it's not butter.
Oh.
Some people could, man.
Here's what I'm thinking.
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know because I don't eat
you
butter.
don't have animal products.
Because I don't eat anymore. I'm done eating and drinking. I think I'm done eating and drinking. I'm not joking right now. I literally think I'm going to go.
All right, so this is the second and last episode.
Remember, we talked about that. This would be our first and our last one. This will be an ongoing experiment. Podcast.
No.
Eventually, my voice will be like, Justin, I'm on day 75, and I'm okay.
Is this a moment where I'm supposed to be like, I have a social responsibility in making sure you don't do this?
That's what I said. That's why I said it. You said this is. That's why I said this sounds committable, like committing somebody to a mental institution. They start
committable.
Like, yeah, that's what I meant.
You meant like commensable.
No, committable.
Oh, that's a little different.
Yes, like this is like a committable offense to society to even talk like this.
Okay, I'll see it like an award ceremony.
No. This is like.
What's that?
This is what gets you in a straitjacket.
What's an award ceremony? Like, what's that?
Oh, like a commencement.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was thinking.
Well, that'll come after.
Yeah, that eulogy.
you can make sure on my tombstone to put something about the bear.
He
The whole
died
bear,
hungry.
the bear parliament. Put
No,
something
he
about the
died
bear
hungry.
parliament.
He
I
died
love.
hungry.
I kind of love bear parliament.
It'd
It's
be a
just
great
some.
metal band.
It actually would. Actually, it might be a better like kind of indie folk band. Bear parliament. Because it's kind of like the bears are kind of civilized, you
What do you
know,
call it? What do you call a group of bears?
a pack.
Is it?
Um, do bears get in groups much?
I don't think so.
I don't know if they
I mean, you'll
do.
have like a little family
Yeah, there's got to be a
if
name.
the mom's fed.
A wolf
If
is a
not,
pack.
she's eating it. She's eating the baby.
A wolf is a pack. Cats are a pride,
That's so crazy.
and a bear is a burrow. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, we've said burrow a lot
Have we?
today. Yeah,
Really?
I have.
That's my first time.
I've said it like 4 times. The Burrow family. Remember? I was like on
Oh yeah,
something.
the burrow family. That's right.
I was going wild with that.
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna think that I'm being ridiculous, and it might just be because I feel vulnerable and exposed right now. But maybe we shouldn't release these podcasts. Maybe we should have our next podcast be our first podcast. I'm
10
not gonna.
years later.
I mean, I'm definitely not gonna stop talking crazy. It's only gonna get crazier from here.
Yeah, that's not gonna change.
That's not gonna change.
Yeah.
It's kind of long, but I
Well,
mean,
we can just assume that people have already tuned out by now.
let's see. If you've made it this far, audience, you
That's
might want to
safe to
sign up.
say.
You might want to
You know?
sign up for our Patreon. We can send you some hair, and because you apparently love us. Hey, mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, Justin.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
I just think that we live our lives assuming that what we're told is right. I mean, from the second we're born, we go through all these several institutions, and these institutions are indoctrinating us to think certain ways. And I don't really totally understand or think or know if it's in our best interest whatsoever. So I'm at a point where I'm being called to challenge institutions. And one of these institutions that we have is restaurants, grocery stores, mastication, swallowing,
Oh.
all of those things.
So you want to be a robot? That's what it
Hmm.
sounds like.
Maybe it's coming to terms that we already are.
Well, like, so Joe Rogan mentioned in one of his podcasts, like one of his theories
Mm-hmm.
is that we have this whole human nature of trying to make something better, better, better constantly. We have all this technology, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever, gonna make it better, 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 better. Like this is our version of evolution now. Like we're just trying to bring ourselves into the next vessel of humanity, which is robotics, where we leave our human bodies behind and we become just these minds that don't have human needs with food, water, any of that, which is exactly what you're saying. And it's kind of like the whole future cave thing. Like it gets back to
Yeah.
primitive
Yeah.
nature because you don't need much to actually survive.
I think kind of what I'm saying is thank you for bringing that up actually. That idea is interesting because I feel like maybe we're already there. Like maybe this body is that thing, but we've been co-opted by dark spiritual entities that are using us as slaves.
Sure about that?
No, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that at all.
Oh,
What
okay.
I'm saying is I'm posing it as a potentiality.
Mm.
I'm saying that our bodies are amazing. The biology that goes on in our body is so far advanced and not understood still, even remotely. The idea of jumping into some sort of metallic spacesuit with my soul somehow transferring my soul. It's like I feel like God's already done the work. He's created, or she, or it, or whatever this thing is, has already created this beautiful vessel for our souls. And
Yeah.
I think maybe it's our mission, our soul mission, to
Huh.
to remember the fact that we are in this wonderful spaceship, and to stop toiling and loving one another. And once we start loving one another, then we'll stop dying. Animals will start dancing around in tutus, and everything will be heaven.
Why a tutu?
Oh, it's like the old cartoons with the bears dancing and the tutus.
Oh, okay.
It's like really old Disney, maybe. They're holding like parasols, you know, those umbrellas, the parasol.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
It's this is dating me more than you. This is my 41 years coming out, because like when I was a little kid, they still had like old school cartoons on television. I mean, they were before my time, but they were on.
Like what?
Um, I don't know, like the Jetsons,
I watched the Jetsons.
the
I grew up
Flintstones,
watching the
the
Jetsons.
Flintstones.
Yeah, I grew up on that too.
Um, do you
I
remember?
love the Jetsons. The Jetsons
Oh
are
God, I love the
great.
Jetsons so much. I love the Jetsons,
And
and
that might be one of the reasons why I like sci-fi.
yeah, the Jetsons was so cool. I also love the Flintstones. In fact, the Jetsons and the Flintstones, if they had a baby, it's Future Cave.
Whoa, dude.
And we don't even smoke pot for our podcast.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Actually, they did have a Jetson Flintstone meetup episode, I believe.
Really?
I think so. I actually think that they did meet in some alternate universe, actually. A Future Cave. What if my
Wow.
entire idea of Future Cave spawned from that episode that I saw as a kid? It's very possible. Like it all started there.
Well, I guess we just gotta make sure all of our royalties goes towards the Jetson family.
So I was from the Jetson family. Hanna-Barbera. The Hanna-Barbera, like
The
trust fund.
Hannah Banana? What?
Hanna-Barbera was the overall company that made all that stuff.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
You remember that?
Now I do.
It was like at the end of it or the beginning, it had like a logo and it said Hanna-Barbera. It was like it was cool looking.
I'm looking it up right now. Hanna Barbera. Hanna-Barbera,
What?
I think.
No. If so,
Let's see.
this is straight up Mandela effect.
Hold on, maybe not. Hold on. Okay, say it again.
I remember it being, it was like Hanna-Barbera.
Bar.
If this doesn't exist, then I'm gonna have some sort of freak out meltdown.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. With the dash in between.
Yeah, there's dash.
Not one word.
No, there's dash.
Hanna-Barbera, the architects of Saturday morning.
I can't hear you.
Whoa. Hanna-Barbera, the architects of Saturday morning.
You just got really quiet. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
No, this is what happened last time.
Yeah.
It's my phone.
My phone too. Hold on. My battery, 20%, right?
Mine's at 23.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit 20%. Both kind of like had a hiccup.
That's
It's
what
like,
it was
ooh,
last time.
I can't handle it. Ooh.
Well,
Maybe this will
just
become the
just
end of this episode.
yeah, let's just end the podcast, and then I'm gonna call you back on the phone because I want to tell you something.
All right. So
right,
we're
bye.
gonna end on this. Ready?
Yeah, done. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Ready?
Bye. 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 Bye.
Hanna-Barbera.